My name is Eva. I am around 28 years old. I want to tell you about my life. For 7 years, my life with Hank was very good. It was like a dream. We met when we were young. We fell in love very much. We built a beautiful life together. Hank was everything to me. He was my best friend. He was my love. He was my partner in life. We had a nice house. We both had good jobs. Everyone who knew us said we were the perfect couple. I believed this too. Our home was full of happiness and shared dreams. We laughed a lot together. We planned our future. But there was one small thing that made us a little sad. We wanted to have a baby very much. We tried for some time, but it did not happen. This was the only small shadow on our happy life. I went to see doctors many times. I wanted to know if there was a problem with me. The doctors did many tests. They said I was healthy. They said my body was fine for having a baby. I asked Hank to go to the doctor too. I wanted him to have a checkup just like me. It was just to be sure everything was okay with both of us. Sometimes problems can be with the man. But Hank never wanted to go. He always said no. He always pushed the idea away. He would say, "I am fine, Eva. Please do not worry about me." He always smiled when he said it. He would say, "It will happen when it happens. The baby will come naturally when it is the right time for us." So I tried not to worry too much. I believed him. I thought he was right. I thought maybe it just needed more time. We were happy together. We had our home and our dreams for the future. The dream of a baby was still there, waiting in our hearts. We hoped it would happen soon. 7 years felt like a long time to wait for a baby. But we were together, and our love felt strong. We had a good life. We had love. We had everything else we wanted. The baby was the missing piece of our perfect picture. We talked about baby names. We imagined our future with a child playing in our home. We believed it would happen for us one day. We were a happy couple. We had a good life. Everything seemed perfect for us. We felt lucky in many ways. We shared everything. Something is wrong. About 6 months ago, things started to change. Hank began coming home late from work. It happened more often than before. He told me it was because of big projects. He said he had tight times to finish the work. At first, I believed him. I would make his dinner and keep it warm for him. But then, Hank started to be distant. Even when he was at home, he was not fully there with me. He was on his phone a lot. He always held the phone so I could not see the screen. He talked less. He became much quieter than usual. We used to talk about our day. We used to plan things for the weekend. We liked doing things together, but he seemed less interested in our usual chats. He did not ask about my day. He did not suggest things for the weekend anymore. It felt like a small distance was growing between us. A little voice began to speak in my head. It was a quiet voice, but I could hear it. The voice whispered that something was wrong. It said that things were not right with Hank, but I tried not to listen to that voice. I pushed the feeling away. I did not want to think that there was a problem. I did not want to believe that our life was changing in a bad way. I wanted things to be like they were before. I wanted Hank to be the same. But the late nights continued, and the quiet distance stayed. It was hard to ignore the feeling forever. Every time he came home late, or every time he was quiet with his phone, the little voice got a little louder. I started to feel a worry in my stomach. Something felt different, and it did not feel good. I wished I knew what was happening, but I was also afraid to know the truth. I just hoped things would go back to normal soon. 3. A sad discovery. One evening, Hank said he had another late meeting at work. He said he would be home very late. My feeling that something was wrong was too strong this time. I could not stay home and feel worried. I felt I needed to know the truth. So I did something I never thought I would do. I decided to follow him. My heart felt heavy in my chest as I got into my car. I started the engine quietly. I drove slowly, keeping my car far behind Hank's car. I watched his car lights in the dark. He did not drive towards his office building. He took a different road. He drove into a part of the city I did not know well. It was a quiet area with many small houses. He stopped his car in front of one small house. I drove a little further down the street and parked my car. I turned off my lights. I watched the house from the dark street. My hands were shaking a little. I waited for a few minutes. The front door of the house opened. Hank came out of the house, but he was not alone. A woman came out with him. She was holding a small boy by the hand. The boy looked very young, maybe about 3 or 4 years old. They stood outside the house for a moment. Hank bent down. He touched the little boy's hair gently. He smiled at the child. Then Hank stood up. He put his arms around the woman, and he kissed her. It was not a quick, friendly kiss. It was a real kiss. It was a kiss for someone he loved. In that moment, my whole world felt like glass that had broken into many pieces. It felt like I could not breathe the air. My body felt cold, even in the car. I understood everything now. This was why he was coming home late. This was why he was distant. He was not at work. He was here. He was with them. He was taking care of this woman and this little boy. The sad truth was right there in front of my eyes. For the truth hurts. Eva drove home. Tears made it hard to see the road in front of her car. She felt a terrible, deep pain inside her heart. She was confused and very, very sad. Her mind was full of questions. She waited for Hank to come back to their house. Every minute felt like a very long hour. When Hank finally came home, much later, Eva was waiting for him. She stood in the living room, the place where they had shared so many happy moments. She looked at him. Her voice was quiet, not loud, but it was full of sadness and hurt. She asked him directly, "Who was that woman I saw you with, Hank? And who is that little boy with her?" Hank's face became very pale. He looked completely surprised and maybe a little scared that she knew his secret. He did not speak for a moment. He just looked at her with wide eyes. Then his face changed quickly. He started to look angry. His voice was loud and hard when he finally spoke. "It's all because of you, Eva," he yelled at her. He said it was her fault that things were this way. Then he told her the big, terrible secret. "That little boy," he said, pointing a finger. "He is my son. He is my child." He told her that the other woman was the boy's mother. "She gave me a child," Hank said loudly, his voice full of anger. "She gave me something that you could never give me, Eva, a child." Eva felt a sharp, terrible pain in her chest. It was like her heart was physically breaking into many small pieces. For many years, she had wanted a baby with Hank. She had tried, she had hoped, but it did not happen. And now Hank was using this very painful fact to hurt her more. He was blaming her for his secret life and for having a child with another woman. It was a truly terrible feeling. The truth was very, very painful. Hank looked at her with cold, hard eyes. There was no love in them now. "Now that you know everything," he said, his voice final, "I want a divorce." He said it so simply, so quickly. After 7 years of being married, of building a life together, of sharing dreams, he just wanted to end it all. He wanted to leave her immediately. He did not seem sad. He did not seem to care about the years they had shared, the love they had felt. He moved very quickly to get the divorce finished. It was over fast. Eva was left completely alone in their house. Her heart was completely broken. She felt lost and empty inside. The man she had loved and trusted had lied to her for a long time and had a secret family. And he blamed her for his choices. It was a very, very hard time for Eva. She felt like her whole life was destroyed in one evening. The truth hurt her more than anything she had ever experienced before. She did not know how she could live after this. 5. A friend helps. The weeks after the divorce were very difficult. Eva felt a lot of pain and confusion. Everything felt like a blur. Her best friend, Fred, helped her very much. He was also her colleague at work. Fred was like a rock for her during this sad time. He listened to Eva for many hours when she needed to talk. She cried a lot, and Fred was always there. He told her that the divorce was not her fault. He said that Hank was wrong and that Eva was a wonderful woman. Fred told her that she deserved someone much better than Hank. His kindness felt very good to Eva. It was like a soft cloth on a hurt place. One evening, Fred was at Eva's apartment. They had talked for a long time again. Fred was ready to go home. Eva looked at him. She saw his kind eyes and his gentle smile. She felt very thankful for his help. She felt a sudden, strong feeling inside her. She leaned closer to Fred and kissed him. It was not planned. Fred seemed surprised for a moment, but then he kissed her back. His kiss was soft and warm. One thing led to another, quietly and without many words. They spent the night together in Eva's apartment. It was a night that started because of sadness and thanks, but it became something more. Eva felt a mix of feelings after the night. Part of her felt a little peace because she was not alone, but another part felt confused about what had happened with her friend. This night was a new step after a very hard time. It was a step she did not expect to take. 6. A new start. The next morning I woke up. I felt bad inside. I felt like I did something wrong. Fred was still sleeping. I looked at him. He was kind. But my head was full of my past and my pain. When he woke up, I talked to him. "Fred," I said, my voice was quiet. This was a mistake. We can't do this." I felt guilty. My heart was not ready for this. Fred looked sad. His eyes were not happy. "Eva," he said softly, "I don't think it was a mistake." He looked at me. "I have feelings for you, Eva. I have for a long time." He paused. "I want to be with you." I was very surprised. I did not know this. My mind was still on Hank and the divorce. My heart was still broken. It was hard to think about a new relationship. I could not say yes to Fred then. I was too hurt. The weeks after that were strange. I was still sad sometimes about Hank, but Fred was my friend. We worked together. Life felt a little more normal. Then, a few weeks later, I started feeling unwell. I felt tired all the time. Sometimes I felt sick in the morning. It was a feeling I knew but had not felt for a long time. A small thought came into my head. Could it be? I went to the shop. I bought a test. I went home and used it. I waited. It was a long minute. My hands were shaking a little. Then I looked. The test showed 2 lines. It was positive. I was pregnant. I could not believe it. After everything, after years of trying with Hank, I was pregnant now. My heart felt a mix of shock and a little bit of hope. I thought about when it happened. It had to be Fred. There was no one else. I knew I wanted this baby. I wanted to be a mother more than anything. I had to tell Fred. I called him. "Fred," I said, my voice was shaking. I have something to tell you." I took a deep breath. "I'm pregnant, Fred." There was silence for a second. Then I spoke again. "And I want to keep this baby. I want to be a mother." A huge smile came on Fred's face. I could hear it in his voice. "Eva, that's wonderful," he said. He sounded so happy. "I'm so happy. We can do this together. I will be with you." His words were kind and strong. He was so supportive. In that moment, a tiny new hope started to grow inside me. 7, the past calls. Life started to feel better. It was like a new morning after a long night. Fred was a great support for Eva. He was happy and excited about the baby that was coming. They spent a lot of time together. They talked about their future. They started to make plans. It felt good to think about happy things again, about building a new life with someone kind and loving. Eva felt hope growing in her heart, like a small seed starting to sprout. One afternoon, there was a knock on the door. Eva opened it. It was Hank. He looked very different. His face was tired and sad. He seemed lost. Eva felt a little surprised and nervous. She did not know why he was here. He asked if he could talk to her. Eva thought for a moment. She decided to let him come inside. She closed the door and waited to hear what he wanted. Hank started to speak, but it was difficult for him. He told Eva about the little boy. He said that boy was not mine. He explained that Clara, the woman Eva saw him with, had lied to him. Later, they did a test, and Hank learned the truth. Clara had been with another man. Hank said he was very hurt by Clara's lie. Then, Hank shared something else. He said he had found out he had a serious health problem. This problem meant he could not have children. He said he learned this a long time ago, but was too scared to tell Eva. He felt very sorry for blaming her for not getting pregnant when it was his problem all along. He said he was a fool. Hank looked at Eva with sad eyes. He said he made a terrible mistake leaving her. He said he missed her and their life together. He asked Eva if they could start again. He wanted her to come back to him. He said he knew he hurt her badly, but he hoped she could forgive him. He waited for her answer, looking hopeful but also afraid. 8. My happy future. I looked at Hank. He was the man I loved for 7 years. But now I did not feel love for him. I felt calm and strong inside. My hand went to my stomach where my baby was growing. It was a small bump, but it was my future. "Hank," I said. My voice was quiet but firm. I am pregnant. His eyes got wide. He looked surprised. Then his face changed. He looked hopeful for a moment. Maybe he thought the baby was his. Our baby, he whispered. No, Hank, I said. I was gentle. It is not our baby. I took a breath. I am with Fred now. He is the father of my baby. Hank looked very sad. His hope was gone. He just looked at me. I do not want you back, Hank, I continued. It was hard to say, but I needed to say it. You hurt me very much. I am building a new life now, a good life. He did not say anything more. He looked down at the floor for a moment. Then he turned and walked away. He left my apartment. He looked very defeated when he went out the door. After that day, I did not see Hank again. My life moved forward with Fred. Fred was so happy about the baby. He was kind and loving. We planned our future together. Within 1 year, Fred and I got married. It was a small wedding, but it was full of love. It felt right and true. Soon after our wedding, our baby was born. It was a healthy baby. Holding my child for the first time was an amazing feeling. Fred was right there next to me, smiling, looking at my baby, and with Fred by my side, I knew I had found my true happiness. It was not the perfect picture I had before. It was a real, happy family.